Well, did they look like freshmen to you today?
Well, I told them they looked like redshirt sophomores today. Overall, pleased. There's still some sloppiness. We weren't quite as crisp on the passing game as I'd liked. Although I think part of that was because defensively we were doing a lot more blitzing, a lot more corner blitzing, and that certainly is disruptive of the passing game. Too many times we fumbled the ball. We were a little bit sloppy there. But overall, for the mechanics of the game, there weren't a lot of procedure penalties. There weren't a lot of what I call non-thinking penalties, and that part was good.
Any overall atmosphere? You had high hopes coming in. What did it mean?
Well, it surpassed all of them, and the energy around the program, around the university, and around the community has just been spectacular. Today was absolutely the epitome of all that energy coming together. And I keep kind of pinching myself because last year at this time we had 2 coaches, 2 phones, and 2 holes in the ground, and that's about all we had. And this hopefully gives people a taste of how much fun this thing can really be.
Is there any one thing today, any anecdote or anything you recall that really stands out that kind of surprised you and knocked you back a little bit?
Well, it probably happened last night, and I'll probably get emotional here, but we actually asked all our former players to come back, and primarily that team that won the Tangerine Bowl. And one of the players had not been back in 40 years, and he came back, and he was frankly a little bit angry at Stetson for whatever the reason was, and he said, "I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I got this note." And I said, "Well, yeah, I sent you the note." And well, I'll just probably leave now because there's probably no one here that I know. Why don't you come on in here and sit down? And we had about 12 to 15 former players with their wives. And of course, he was immediately recognized by his teammates. And it took about 30 seconds for the hugs to come out and the tears and all that stuff. And that's what this game's about. It's about relationships. And our players were so moved to give them all a standing ovation. So that's the part that is fun about this thing. It can be a great unifier, and hopefully can get all of our alums, our students, and the other parts of our schools, the law school and Celebration, under one umbrella.
Players that stood out today: Ryan Tendler had a pretty good day, had a big run, a touchdown pass. Donald Payne had a pick 6. Who else?
Well, Jeremy Siegel had a couple nice runs, and Joe Rizzo had a nice run as well. Again, I was a little disappointed in the passing game overall, but I thought our run game was okay. And scrimmages are weird because if you're really happy the offense did well, then you're really mad the defense did poorly. So I thought there were spurts of really good things, and I thought there were some things that we showed a lack of experience. And certainly over the next 2 weeks, we're going to continue to work on that.
You talked about the linebackers needing to play well, and obviously Julius Holder had a pretty good game.
Well, Julius, especially when he blitzes, I mean, he's hard to block, and he has a knack about getting off blocks and getting in the backfield. And I thought he played pretty well. Again, Donald Payne pretty much plays all the way. Glenn Adosi had a big hit, which he hadn't really been hitting people on a consistent basis. So I was just glad that the hitting was at the level that it needs to be, and the speed of the game seemed to get a little faster as the game went along.
I haven't seen the team since the first daytime scrimmage, so I saw a lot of difference. I mean, it seemed like there was a lot more crisper play and speedier.
Well, I think at that time you were kind of saying there's no chance you're ever going to win a game or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's hard because you see them every day. Sometimes you don't remember where you were, at this time about 2 months ago. But yeah, I mean, again, mechanically we didn't do a lot of the mistakes that you expect from first-year students, like jumping off sides and illegal procedures and that stuff. We didn't have a whole lot of mental errors from a formation standpoint, and I didn't hear a lot of defensive mental errors as far as being in the wrong gaps and blitzing like that. So yeah, we actually, as you sit back and look at things, much better than I expected, but not as good as I want.
20-19 in this one, 39-36 in the other one. Looks like the players did a pretty good job drafting.
They did, and I was. It was interesting. It seems like these guys have a way to play with each other, and they find ways to keep the scores close. So yeah, the draft went pretty well, and I think now the next 2 weeks what we'll do is we'll go back to the full offense and full defense going against each other and start putting in some new things that will carry us on in the spring practice and hopefully for the next fall.
If you were just one or two line summation about what you saw out there, what you saw from the fans and everything, how would you just sum up the day?
It's a small taste of how exciting this is going to be over the next 5-6 years.
And after the scrimmage today, what are your expectations for next season?
Well, it's a little early to make those. I'm more the thing is, if you want to be a champion, you got to worry about the process, not about the end result. And so, we've got to get in the weight room. We've got to do a lot of strength and conditioning. Our strength coach has just been hired for a couple of weeks, so we got a little time to make up there, or a little work to make up over there. So we've got to continue to improve over the next 2 weeks. Have a great month off where our kids aren't really taking the month off. They got to get some work done, and then we're having spring practice in February. And all that has to be building of getting better and better and better. And we've got to play faster, and we frankly have to make our team faster overall as well.
Thank you.
You bet.